Good morning, girls. So yesterday in class you were looking at questions in 3 and 5 and I said I'd correct them this morning. My plan today is that we're just going to do a little bit of classwork because I was just looking through the examples and they're going to take quite some time to explain and go through. So I'm going to leave them until Thursday. So for the moment we're just there's no new learning, so this should be a lot faster video. And in fairness, a lot faster class once you get the questions done. So I am looking at question 3 on page 50. So that's this question here. And some of you had started it in class yesterday and were asking me a few questions on it, which is really good. So the Venn diagram on the right shows the universal set U and 3 intersecting sets A, B and C. The number of elements, so this is the important bit, the number of elements in each region is given in the brackets. So that means there's 3 numbers inside here, there's 6 numbers inside there, and so on. How I know 3 isn't just one of the elements is when you have elements, there'd be a dot beside it. So 3 is an element, 7 is an element, 1 is an element, and there's a dot beside it. Whereas when they're in brackets like that, that means there's 3 elements and 6 elements and 4 elements and 2 elements and so on. What you were asked is the cardinal number A. The cardinal number is the number of elements in A. You never put it in chain brackets, you're just giving the number. So I'm just going to write it out as in the solution. So the cardinal number of A is equal to, when you add up all of the numbers in A, and I'm just going to point to them. There's 3 and 6 and 4 and 2. And if you want to, you can write out the sum as to what that is. So it's going to be 3 and 6 and 4 and 2. And you can pop that into your calculator and you'll get it no bother. So 3 and 6 and 4 and 2 is 15. So the cardinal number of A is 15. Now that we've that done, we're looking at part 2 of the question. So just going back up to it again. It's the cardinal number of A union B less C. Less C means cover C. So I'm covering everything that's in C. And I have to add A and B together. So there's 3, 6 and 8 inside there. And that'll get me my total. So the cardinal number of A union B less C, it's the numbers 3 plus 6 plus 8. And again, you can do it on your calculator. 3 plus 6 plus 8 is 17. Okay, good. So that's part 1 and part 2 done. Part 3 of the question is the cardinal number of A union B union C complement. And complement means when you take out A, B and C together, what are you left with? Well, you'll cover all 3 and you'll see what's left in the universal set, which is 7. So the cardinal number of A union B union C complement is 7. Part 4 is the cardinal number of A. So I'm just going to go back up to A. When you take out B and C together. So all that's left in A when you take out B and C together is 3. So part 4, your answer is 3. So it's cardinal number of A less B union C. And that is 3. And finally, the last part of that question is the intersection of A and C. The cardinal number of intersection of A union C less B. So the intersection of A and C together is 2 and 4. Okay, but I'm taking out B, so the intersection of A and C is now just 2. So my answer is 2 for that. So just go back over the answers again. Part 1 was 15, part 2 is 17, part 3 was 7, part 4 was 3, and part 5 was 2. So that was question 3 done. Question 5 is a little bit trickier. So you're using the information and you're going to draw out the Venn diagram and you're going to base it on what's been said here. And then you're going to use the information to answer 3 questions based on it. Now, I have this kind of set up already. What I mean by set up is I have just drawn out the Venn diagram. I'm labeling U. I'm labeling the 3 Venn diagrams A, B, and C, and they're all intersecting, as you can see. So we're going to take each piece of information bit by bit. As you know at this stage, subbing in the middle bit, the intersection of all 3, is the easiest thing to do, and the bit that goes on the outside. Okay, after that we'll take every other piece of information bit by bit. So the cardinal number of A intersection B intersection C, so that's the intersection of all 3, is 2. The intersection of all 3 is inside here, which is 2. Now the cardinal number of A intersection B, So A intersection B is all of this inside here, is 7. Now I already have 2 of the 7, so that means there's 5 left. Okay, so you need to account for minimizing or taking away what's already in place. So for 7 in the intersection of A and B, that's all of this section, but I have 2 of the 7, so I take away the 2 and I get 5. So that's the second piece of information. The third piece of information is B intersection C. That is all of this, so all of that inside there. B intersection C is 6. Now I have 2 of that, so that means I have 4 left. Next is A intersection C, which is all of this, is 8. Now I have 2 of the 8, that means I have 6 left, because 6 and 2 makes the 8. It's telling me the cardinal number of A is 16, the cardinal number of B is 20, and the cardinal number of C is 19, and the cardinal number of the whole universal set is 50. Now that I have that in mind, I need to make sure that everything inside here adds up to 16, everything inside here adds up to 20, and everything inside here adds up to 19. So you're just going to use some basic maths. 5 and 2 is 11, and 2 is 13. 13 minus 16 is 3. Okay, so I need my total to add up to 20 for B. 5 and 4 is 9, and 2 is 11 out of 20. To make up the 20, I need 9. Okay, and the last one there, the C has to add up to 19. So I've 12, 6 and 4 and 2 is 12. 12 minus 19 is 7. And now the tough one, let's say the whole box has to add up to 50. So when I start adding up, well, I know that's 20, 30, 36. Okay, so that's all 36 when I add up all of those numbers. 36 minus 50 is 14. So that means 14 is not part of A, B, or C, but it is part of the universal set. Now that I have my Venn diagram complete and I have accounted for every individual space, I can now answer the 3 questions on it. So there's 3 parts to it. The first one is A union B complement. The second one is the cardinal number of A less B union C. And the third one is the cardinal number of A union B less C. And we'll take this bit by bit. So the first one, A union B complement. So I put A and B together and then I take them out. And what I'm left with is 7 and 14. So that's 7 plus 14, which is 21. Now you can just write down the 21. But if you had this somehow incorrectly written, but you'd used the right numbers, let's say you accidentally put in 6 there and you had 6 and 14, you get a good lot of attempt marks for it. Okay, so it is important sometimes to show your work, just in case if you just gave the 21 and it was wrong, that you won't get any marks for it. Second one, the cardinal number of A less B union C. So when I take B union C together and take them out, and I look at A, all that's left in A is 3. Now there is no calculation to that because you're not adding anything, but that's all that's left in A. So B union C complement, or less B union C, that means take those out and you're left with 3. The last one there is A union B less C. So A union B less C, that means covers C, and you're left with the numbers 3, 5 and 9. So this is your sum, 3 plus 5 plus 9. 14 and 3 is 17, okay, when you add all of those together. Okay, so that's a really good question, as in it goes through obviously how to draw out a set, and then you're answering the basic questions on it. So it's just getting used again to the notation, and we'll see a little bit more of that today. What I would love you to do now is you're just going to do some classwork. You're going to join me live, okay? So you're going to join me about 9:10, and we're going to do 6, 7 and 8 on page 51, and then on 52 we're doing 13 and 14. Now I mightn't correct 13 and 14 in class, I'll do it in the next video, but the next piece that we're going on to requires a good bit of explaining, and the video will be quite long, so I thought it best just to split it up. So we'll do today just classwork, and for Thursday then we'll do the examples and I'll get you to do a few questions. See you live.